What's up, Snorter Crew? What's up, Snorter Crew? It's yours truly, Snort that dude. Right now, better get into that Glokknine, Orlando biggest op. Of course, we here after recent news of Glokknine. We gotta do the story on Glokknine. Hold on. You did all what and did what? Oh, let me do the research a little bit, because apparently I'm under research in the Glokknine department. Yeah. Anyway, Motion Club business. Thank you everybody that supported the Motion Clubs thus far. I just replied to a DM of somebody sending me this shirt talking about we went Motion Club for Christmas. Yeah. That's nothing but love, gang. That's nothing but love, gang. And that lets me know everything dropped. All my packages dropped. All of them. Touchdown King. Call me Touchdown King. King of touchdowns. It's your boy Snores getting to it.
Well, the person that they were after has been linked to what Orange County deputies are calling a gang feud tied to murders as well as illegal guns, putting innocent families in danger.
At least 3 murders and more than a half dozen shootings where people were injured behind all of this, according to investigators, and most of it playing out in the middle of places like where I'm standing, residential neighborhoods where innocent people are being caught in the middle.
You are here because you have been arrested for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 counts of attempted second-degree murder.
The subject of today's video is an Orlando demon who's the leader of a crew that rained terror across the city of Orlando. If he had a problem with you, he would come after you, even if you are a blood relative. Despite making it big as a rap artist, he was willing to throw it all away if it meant getting even with his ops. The subject of today's video is none other than Glokknine, and today we're going to be telling his story. But before we get into the video, please be sure to like and subscribe. Glokknine, whose real name is Jaquavius Denard Smith, was born on May 1st, 2000. He grew up in one of the roughest areas of Orlando, Florida called Mercy Drive. He's been acting wild since a young age. He stole his mom's car for the first time at just the age of 11, and he would eventually start stealing random people's cars at age 14. His young age wouldn't matter, as he would commit as much crime as a seasoned pro. In fact, he went to jail 12 times before the age of 18 for various crimes such as stealing cars and illegal possession of firearms.
12 times? Oh, that nigga, that's all he know. In and out. That's all he know. You'll think the money will change him a little bit. Like, nah, I ain't on that. I'm on this bread. Like, I'm on this money. Like, apparently he thought he can do both. You cannot do both. You cannot do both.
Eventually, Glokknine would catch his first super serious charge at 15 years old. On September 2nd, 2015, Glokknine was arrested in connection to a shooting that left another teen hospitalized. Glokknine was 15 years old at the time. On that day, he and a 17-year-old boy were on the patio of a house in Pine Hills when Glokknine accidentally shot him. Investigators said the two initially told them that they didn't know how the teen was shot. The injured teen was taken to Orlando Regional Medical Center, where he was reported to be stable. Glokknine was charged.
Me habla no English.
Charged with aggravated battery with a firearm, an unlawful discharge of a firearm, and also committed a violation of probation for trespassing. He was taken to the Orange Regional Juvenile Detention Center, but was eventually released. Glokknine is one of the leaders and members of a gang called AFNF. They operate out of the Mercy Drive area of Orlando. They primarily beef with the 438 gang, made famous by the rapper Hot Boy. The 438 gang primarily operates out of the Silver Star Road area of Orlando. AFNF also beefs with another group called CKN, made popular by the rapper Cudham Reese. CKN and 438 are closely tied together. Lastly, AFNF beefs with a gang called LPB, made famous by the rapper LPB Pootie. Glokknine, Hotboy, and Pootie started off cool with each other, but eventually things went left. Hotboy claims that the beef started because Glokknine was jealous of him, but his side of the story has never been officially confirmed. Regardless, their feud would lead to a bloody gang war that wreaked havoc all across the city of Orlando. A RICO investigation announced last year released the inner details of the beef between AFNF and 438. According to investigators, the feud between AFNF and 438 resulted in over 30 shootings and several homicides. Tragically, 4 innocent bystanders were killed as a result of this beef, including a 3-year-old boy. LPB and 438 were initially clicked up against AFNF, but in recent months, both crews have started beef with each other as well.
Boy, it's always gonna end up in beef, man. It's always gonna end up in beef. Free Glock. You just heard what he just did? Oh, hey, you know what? You might be with him, gang. Hey.
After going back and forth on songs and on social media, AFNF's beef with 438, CKN, and LPB would eventually lead to bloodshed. One of the most notable incidents in this war was the death of an LPB member by the name of Wolf Luma. On April 14, 2020, Sheriff's Office deputies responded to a report of shots fired at the Stony Brook South subdivision in Davenport. When deputies arrived, they believed a shooting might have occurred but cannot locate any victims. The Orange County Sheriff's Office later contacted the Osceola Sheriff's Office after a shooting victim had been dropped off at Dr. Phillips Hospital. The victim was later identified as 20-year-old Wolf Luma, who later was pronounced dead from his injuries. Wolf Luma was close with both Pootie and Hotboy. In fact, Hotboy's biggest song to date, called Don't Need Time, is a memorial to Wolf Luma. A member of Glokknine's crew, named AFNF Meatmo, whose real name was Demetrius Cox, was arrested after deputies were able to link him to the murder. Shortly after this, Wolf Luma's memorial would be held and something horrific would happen there.
And I think this the one Glokknine told on himself about.
On April 25, 2020, a gathering was being held after the funeral of Wolf Luma. As people gathered around, gunfire broke out. At about 11:19 p.m., police responded to a report of shots fired in the area. 4 people, including LPB Pootie, were shot. Tragically, an innocent football player signed to play football at Louisville named Dexter Rentz was shot and killed in this incident. Police believe that he was not the intended target. An AFNF member by the name of Baby Joker was listed as a suspect in this attack.
Right.
As the war in Orlando loomed on, Glokknine would lose one of his closest friends in a failed assassination attempt on one of their ops. Vanshon Sands, described by authorities as second in command in the 438 gang, had just stepped out of his car on July 7, 2020, outside a home in Pine Hills when he saw Jermaine Ingram Jr. and Baby Joker, real name Jeremiah Robinson, drive up in a Dodge Challenger. A passenger window rolled down and they started shooting. Sands grabbed a rifle from his car and returned fire, striking Baby Joker in the back of the head. Baby Joker died days later. Sands wasn't charged with murder due to it being self-defense, but he did face charges for illegal possession of a firearm by a felon. Following this incident, members of 438 would diss Baby Joker in songs and on social media and mock him for dying while trying to do a drill.
Man.
Yo, little stepper ran down and he died. How you feeling, G?
Yo, little stepper ran down and he died. How you feeling, G?
You need to go dig his dog up. Go dig up your doggy. Go dig up the doggy like a bone. With dead ass. Go dig your doggy up.
That nigga was disrespectful.
As I mentioned earlier in the video, one of the main groups AFNF beefs with is CKN. The most famous member of CKN is a rapper named Cudham Reese. The police believe that AFNF has tried to take Reese's life 5 different times. However, I'm only going to talk about the incident Glokknine was directly involved in. The crazy thing about this is that Glokknine and Reese are blood cousins. On July 23, 2020, Orlando police received a call from a woman claiming that her house was shot up. Once officers arrived at the house, they noticed shell casings everywhere. Bullet holes were observed throughout the front of the house. 5 people were inside of the house at the time it was being shot up, but luckily no one was injured. The house turned out to be the home of Cudham Reese, and authorities believe that he was the intended target. After interviewing Reese's mother, the police discovered that Reese was warned by someone that Glokknine was coming after him. One of the people in the home witnessed the shooting and identified Glokknine as one of the gunmen. Based on this testimony, Glokknine was charged with 5 counts of attempted murder for this incident. Following the attempted murder of Cudham Reese, the retaliation was swift. The very next day, Glokknine's aunt's house was shot up. It was believed that Glokknine may have been living there at the time, however he wasn't there when it was shot up. His ops were still out for blood, and next time they would go after him in a public place for the whole world to see.
Man, he made it by this time. Why he still living with Auntie? That's crazy. That's crazy.
On October 8, 2020, Orlando Police Department officers responded to a shots fired call at the mall at Millennia. Orlando Police Department officers who were already inside the mall at Millennia at the time of the shooting responded and made contact with the victims within seconds of receiving the emergency call. The victims were identified as Devontae Smith, Robert Cooks, Keith Falconer Williams, and Glokknine. The whole incident was caught on camera. 3 suspects were observed walking throughout the mall shopping, eventually exiting and entering a white BMW. The owner of the vehicle was determined to be a man named Angel Morales. Morales was seen entering the back passenger seat of the vehicle. Images of Morales and the 3 other suspects were observed by Orange County Sheriff's Office agents, and they positively identified the shooter as Trayvon Graham and another member of the group as Joshua Holder. The officers were able to positively identify these 2 suspects from previous investigations and arrests. Trayvon Graham and Joshua Holder are documented 438 gang members. After reviewing the video, it was clear that Morales, Graham, and Holder were acting together when they each entered the vehicle and circled the parking lot waiting for Glokknine and his crew to exit the mall. Holder was observed entering the driver's door and taking control of the vehicle, while Graham entered and sat in the front right passenger seat. Holder drove around the mall parking lot for approximately 16 minutes before they found Glokknine's vehicle parked. Once found, Holder eventually stopped circling the area and parked in a parking spot positioned so that Glokknine's vehicle and the mall exit were visible at the same time. Holder remained parked this way for approximately 6 minutes until Glokknine and his crew were seen walking out of the mall. The BMW then stopped. Graham exited the right front passenger door holding a firearm and fired several rounds at Glokknine and his crew. Several additional citizens were seen in the parking lot running at the sound of gunshots. Graham then entered the vehicle and Holder drove away. Graham, Holder, and Morales were all charged with first-degree attempted murder. Glokknine was lucky to survive this
Them boys are cooked.
incident. As I mentioned earlier, AFNF Meatmo, real name Demetrius Cox, was charged with the murder of Wolf Muma. Eventually, Meatmo would be released on $200,000 bail. Just hours after being released from prison, Meatmo would tragically lose his life. On March 7, 2021, Orlando PD received a call for shots fired. When police arrived, Meatmo was found on the scene and declared dead at just 21 years old. Meatmo was one of Glokknine's closest friends, and his death would leave Glokknine devastated.
The biggest
When
scammer.
fighting any type of war, one of the main things you need is money. The $2 million record deal he signed with Cash Money Records in 2018 wasn't enough for him, so eventually he would need to resort to other things to make money. On July 13, 2021, Glokknine pled guilty to identity theft charges. Glokknine fraudulently applied for and received $10,000 in PPP loans that were meant to aid struggling businesses in the pandemic. The Orange County Sheriff's Department had wiretapped his Instagram and were able to see that he sent the loan application to an acquaintance. He took the name, social security number, and address of a person to apply for a PPP loan and open a fraudulent bank account.
He cooked again.
Eventually, Glokknine was officially arrested and brought into custody on RICO charges. Him and numerous members of AFNF and 438 were taken down by prosecutors in a sting called Operation X-Force. Ultimately, he was sentenced to 7 years in a federal prison after pleading guilty to 3 weapons charges. Good news for him, though, is that the 5 attempted murder charges he was facing were recently dropped. Let me know what you guys think of this situation in the comment section, and please be sure to like and subscribe.
Man, that boy Glokknine been a busy boy, man. He worked hard to get up in there, man. He worked hard to get up in prison. Gotta give it to him, you know. He killed the dream. He killed the dream. And he did all that just to snitch on himself. Crazy work.